research later.
Post-grad plus dumb ass equals podcast. Serious bullshit podcast.
Later, articulators, new behavior. Talk about the shit, then research later.
Post-grad plus dumb ass equals podcast.
That's the thing, dude. That's my thing. How dare you steal my thing, bro? You do not come in doing the propeller. I do the propeller. I taxi in. No, I taxi in.
You didn't invent the Jetsons car. I bought one too. I'm rolling in this way.
No, I invented taxiing into the podcast, okay? See, a lot of people land the plane, but then you forget you got to taxi in. That's where I come.
Well, you know, there was once everyone showed up to the movie theater on horseback, and then someone got a car, and the next day I got a car. It wasn't like that guy owned the car. He bought the car from the factory. I bought the Jetsons car from the factory, and that's how I get to the podcast now.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute, guy. Now, were movie theaters around when there was just horse and buggy? Is that a fucking thing?
Well, we're going with it.
Is that a thing, dude? Because I don't know, man. I don't know if those two times are interlapping well. I feel like they would have had another way. I feel like they would have had motorized cars.
All right, the trailhead then.
Motion picture.
So, you know, everyone used to take the horse to the
Let's
trailhead
find that
and go
out.
hiking.
That's better. Yeah, that's literally never happened. Nobody took their horse to a trailhead. That's something hiking must have just developed in the recent years, right? Like it has to be a pretty recent thing after cars, because nobody was like, "Yeah, let's take the horses to the trailhead and then walk fucking through the woods where we already live." Fucking no, dude. What the fuck? I got shit to do today, bro. You just want to walk through the woods? Why? Why would you ever want to do that?
Which time do you have?
Yeah, what the fuck? You just want to take risks, unnecessary risks? Why?
There's bears out there.
Like literally, yeah. If you think about it, like as humans, all we do is like try to get away from it. But we want that, we crave that unnecessary risk, because it is like if you think about hiking, it's a completely unnecessary risk, right?
It's pretty. I don't feel too risky.
It's not that risky, but it's an unnecessary risk. Like you never had to do it. It didn't get you anywhere specifically, but you took a small risk, especially if you went hiking in like, you know, if you were up in Alaska. Like, dude, when we were in Alaska with my family and shit, they have these buses that go through Denali National Park, which is like the really big national park there. It's got the Mount McKinley in it, Mount Denali now, I think it's called. And basically they just have buses that run from like 7 to 7 while it's daylight. And these buses just go like one every 45 minutes or something, every 15 minutes. They're going up and down this one road. There's only one road that goes to the whole park. And it basically goes from like the opening of the park to the mountain. And then the rest of it's just swaths of land, right? But at any point on this bus, you can just pull the string, dude. And they just stop the fucking bus. And you just get off. And you just go.
You see a tree you want to check out?
Dude, yeah. Like, all right, you can just wait for the next bus. And so basically it's just like, don't lose the road is essentially the main thing. And then fucking like, you know, just make sure you're back here before dark if you want to get a ride out. Otherwise, you're camping out here tonight, basically. So they just let people fucking roam freely in this giant wilderness, dude. And that is a huge risk. Because, dude, the fact that, like, we just got off the bus, me and my grandfather and this one other dude that was down to do a legit walking up a mountain off trail for no reason. Only 3 of us were really willing to do that. So it just being us 3 doing it. It was one of the fucking coolest shits ever, dude. It was just like you go around the backside of this little hill, dude, and then it was just like you couldn't see the road anymore. And you're just like, oh, like this is just a giant swamp. This is just land forever. Like, you just keep walking infinitely, and you're never probably going to get somewhere before you fucking passed out or, you know, needed to stop for food or something, like to make a shelter or whatever it was. Like you could just go, bro. And there was fucking grizzly bears just walking around in there and shit, man. Like at any given point, you're taking that risk of I could just walk around a corner, grizzly bear happens to be there, happens to, you know, be territorial at the time or something, and then just, you know, tears you up, and then you get your eaten from your ass over 2 weeks while it lets you rot and get tasty. Ass first, yeah, for like 2 weeks, man. Like that's just to say that I would even take a 1% chance of that happening, and I'll take that risk to go on a walk, seems very, like, I don't know, it just seems very unbalanced. Like, oh, the worst possible death imaginable, I'll chance it and go for a walk through the woods. You know what I mean? Like, if there was a chance that hot iron could get dumped onto your head at any given point when you went on that hike, you'd probably be like, wouldn't do that if hot iron was going to get dumped on my head. No, fuck that. But potentially getting mauled and eaten alive by an animal, I'll take that risk. It just seems very strange, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, that's some serious hiking. That's not how I think. Most of the time I'm thinking like, I go to a trailhead. it's like pretty well mapped out. I know how far it's going to be. That sort of hiking's what I.
Well,
but
the only thing with trail is, dude, fucking people. Any guy, anybody could just be on that trail, all the way at the top, where nobody else is around, just waiting around the tree. I never don't think about that every time we go camping. You don't ever think about that, dude? I heard this story one time. About these guys that were holding off. You remember the dude at the Fats, the mountain bike trail, the guys that were roping off the trail and hitting mountain bikers like they would take a piece of rope, hide it behind 2 trees, and just rope off the fucking mountain bike trail. You're whipping around a corner. All of a sudden, there's a rope there at chest level. You get clotheslined off of it, dude, and then they just got your ass. Like just
they would rob you?
I don't know. I don't remember what they said that they would do. I think it was like, I think they might have killed somebody. Because what, you can rob somebody on a mountain bike? That's the dumbest. What are you gonna get? A water bottle?
A lot of people do that not to like.
I got 40 Camel packs, bro.
But just because they hate mountain bikers, they think they like destroy the trail.
So they would rope it off in a song like that?
Yeah.
What?
A lot of people do trail sabotage just because they don't like mountain bikes on the trail.
You kill somebody like that, dude. Because, I mean, there's nothing better than being on a mountain bike and being like, oh, I'm just going to let it rip right now. I'm hauling ass. You know what I mean? You're just like, you're in like the flow state where you're not really thinking about what you're doing. Your tires are your feet, and you're just fucking like putting them where you need to be, and you're just going downhill fast as shit. But like, and just to look up, and there's a fucking nylon bungee cord sitting there. You're just zero time to react, and it could literally cut your head off or something almost, dude.
You just went multi-voice on me. I think your banana's doing the thing.
That is fucked up, man. It hasn't happened since last time I podcasted with you, Sterling.
Yeah, something about the way we're mumbling.
Hang on. I was just mumbling with Mike yesterday, so it shouldn't really be that. Check 1 2. How are we sounding now?
Yeah, I'm still hearing it. Let me see if it's happening on the
check
live.
Now? Check
Wait.
now?
Yeah, it's good now.
Okay, yeah, dude. I don't know how Google got unmuted. That's all it was. Google Hangouts.
Oh, okay.
So for the listeners, everything sounds fine still. Don't disregard that, guys. Sterling just had dementia for a second. Don't mind him.
Whoa.
Oh. Is that what dementia's like?
No, that's what it sounded like.
You go.
There's an echo. I'm hearing multiple voices. You're coming at me from different angles.
I'm hitting you from here. I'm hitting you from there. I'm swooping from the left, from the back.
Where's he talking to me from? I'm looking left. I'm looking right.
So you I guess you heard most of what I said then, right?
Oh, I heard the whole thing. It's just really distracting.
No, got you.
Yeah. So the point is that I can pull in on my own Jetsons car. And you don't own the technology.
I guess it is, dude. It's an unnecessary risk, though, to try and encroach on another man's mental property.
Method?
Mental property. That's mental property, bro.
I purchased it from the Jetson factory. That's someone else. That's not your mental property.
The Jetson factory?
Yeah, dude. I bought a Jetsons car. You were pulling up here all stylish? I was trying to pull up stylish, too.
I thought it was a concept. They told me it was a concept. I paid extra. They said that this was a one of a kind. Only I had this, and it used to be a go-kart. It was a modified go-kart. No, it was a
concept car, but now it's in full production. So you got the concept version. I got the full production version.
Damn it, dude! Now, yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna pull up in a jet next time. I'm just gonna have a jet engine sound ready to go.
You need to pull up in that thing we had last time on the podcast for that guy. You'd have the thing that we had, that fucking hang glide thing that kid was driving. Remember? We were watching it on this podcast.
Oh, the paramotor.
Yeah, the paramotor.
Dude, that shit's so cool. I like.
Yeah, it's almost as cool as that fucking stupid name. That's the dumbest name for some shit ever. The paramotor. Ooh.
Well, it's a parachute with a motor, so it's a paramotor.
Exactly. You could tell he's not writing any interesting literature anytime soon. He's not
it's
very
like an
creative.
Established sport.
No, he named it. That was his thing.
No. All right, Christian. I
didn't know that it was an established sport. All right.
Yeah. Now that you shat on it, you got to rename it.
To rename it?
What is the proper name?
I don't know. What is like the aviation equivalent of fruit booter?
All right. Well, I don't know what a fruit booter is.
You don't know what a fruit booter is? That's an inline roller skater, dude.
Inline roller
That's
skater.
what skateboarders. When I skateboard, that's what we call
the 4 wheels in a row, not the 4 wheels.
Yeah.
Not like
yeah.
a car.
Nobody. That's just gay guys.
Oh, this is just gay guys. Okay.
That's just gay guys being gay guys, bro. I mean, how you gonna knock that?
So
it's just a gay guy on the boardwalk.
It's called a fruit booter.
That's a fruit booter. That's what skateboarders used to call
rollerbladers.
Rollerbladers.
They got boots kind of on their and they're just fruity because it's just like
gay.
a fruity thing.
Yeah, and it was
so it'd be like they got like a seat and they got a motor and a parachute. So like seat booter, motor booter, fruit.
That's not how what you were just doing works. Like you were going in a direction of thinking up a great name, and then you just started combining names with the shit that was already there. What? You literally just did the same thing they originally did with motor shoot. Like,
well, I'm trying to take the fruit booter concept, because they just took boot and fruity, so it's like he's on his butt. You get that, Everyone loves a good butt joke.
How about a queer steer? I don't know.
Hey.
You got to kind of steer it, right? Do you steer it?
Yeah, with the handles.
I don't know. It's got to be something that's like in a southern way, a little bit homophobic sounding. Like queer bait. Wasn't that the funniest? Like I never really understood what it meant till I got older. A queer bait.
Yeah, I understood it in like.
I didn't get what it
like
meant when
school?
people were calling it to me. I really just thought they were just fucking making fun of me or something. I don't know. Queer bait was just something you said talking shit to somebody. Yeah. But like actually thinking about it, like what? Now what does that mean? Like, do you put him out to find the other gays that you want to bash? Is he like when you're fishing for gays to bash, you got to throw out your queer bait and then reel them in real quick behind the truck? So the truck is the fishing rod, and then the rope tied to the queer bait is the fishing line. Now, at what point and how do you think they reel the queer bait in once the queers show up to then bash queers?
I think like once it back in their home. But I always thought of it more like a jail thing. Like if you were to go in there, no, that doesn't work, does it?
What?
It kind of
queer
works.
Queer bait's got to be fishing for queer, and they drag queers behind their cars. That's what rednecks love to do, is drag people they don't like behind their trucks. So I figure that's probably the rod. Oh, you didn't see how dark I was going with this, Sterling. Oh, I'm sorry. You had no idea how horrible of a turn I just took.
Okay, yeah.
With that theoretical scenario.
We're back to the clan scenario.
Yeah, we're back to the clan. Now, this is what happened, guys, when Sterling hits me up in the day, and neither of us really have any topics. This is what we're going to be talking about, is queer bait. For the remainder of this podcast, we're going to be breaking down the term queer bait, okay?
Hope you take interest in that.
I started, I'm thinking about fleshing out a bit out of just the idea that I used to say gay all the time back in high school or like middle school and shit, like when it was just like the term that all white dudes used. It was like almost a term of endearment. Like for white dudes back then, oh, that's gay, everything's gay, oh, you're gay, oh, that's fucking gay, dude, oh, you're gay. Everything was just gay. Everything was described as gay, right? No matter what it was.
Yeah,
just like literally zero definition for that word. Like there was no. If you asked me what I meant when I said that, no fucking 15-year-old kid had an answer for that. We were all just saying gay. It was just a term. It was just get tossed around. So I would say it all the time around my dad whenever I went up in summertime to be around him and shit. And for some reason, he just thought it was hilarious. And then he started saying it all the time. And then, like, his wife started saying it all the time. And then now, dude, like, times have changed. So it's like I've, like, almost filtered it out of my language, just saying it, like, all the time. Because it is, like, I don't know. I guess I don't want to fucking piss certain people off or just, there's just a better word. Better words is what I found, like, for the situation of it. Instead of something just being gay, something could be fucking stupid or preposterous or ridiculous or just, or fucking it stinks, whatever it is, you know what I mean? But there's just a million different more fun ways that I could use, funnier ways that I could use to describe something than being fucking gay. But like my dad still uses that shit like it's yesterday, dude. Like he uses that shit like fucking like a 15-year-old from 2005 or something, man. He's just it's so funny, dude. Like he recently, he's really into conspiracies. I do the bit about albino Bigfoot. Do you know about this? That he told me that he saw albino Bigfoot in Pennsylvania. What's that?
Well, it's definitely not. He definitely didn't, but
no, for sure, right? He's saying that that his fucking him and his buddy saw an albino Bigfoot, and I do this joke on stage about like fucking albino Bigfoot. Like you're talking about the rarest version of the rarest creature on the planet. Like how many Bigfoots would there have to be for to even like statistically to be an albino Bigfoot? How many albino people have you seen, Dad? Like I doubt he's even ever seen an albino guy in his small town in Pennsylvania. Just the odds that he thinks that that's what he saw, and then I said that I think he got molested, and him and his buddy just made like a pinky swear out there. I'm just like, we saw albino Bigfoot, bro. It wasn't just a giant white dick. But so he's into all this weird shit. He's into ghosts. He's into fucking aliens. He's buys into all that shit. But then, like, we were asking him, me and Mike were asking him on that Base Grifters one day, like, oh, but so like, what do you think about flat Earth? And he just goes, oh no, that's fucking gay. And I just thought it was great that like it all culminated to just him fucking like, no, that's fucking gay, dude. Just and I was like, you know what, dude? For the first time, like, yeah, that's a proper way of using that term. You know, that is gay. I don't know. He used it right for the first time in a long time. I was like, he finally figured it out. It took him fucking all these years, but he finally figured out how to use the word. He dropped it one good time.
That's a good bit.
Yeah, there's something to it.
That's
I gotta
the bit
write
you do
it out,
on
flesh it
stage?
out more. No, I just talk about the albino Bigfoot and how, like, and how I think he might have got molested. I haven't added any other shit yet.
I figure you should do it just like that.
I want to also maybe talk about how I was talking about Ouija boards and how my grandfather had a Ouija board, and they're really secular. They don't really care about shit like that. So I would play with them all the time when I was little, and he was like, oh, no, fuck that. You shouldn't have been playing with that shit. He's like, I can't believe they would be playing with that over there. I was like, yeah, man, he just had it like out in the cabinet at all times. He's like, nah, man, you're supposed to like keep the cabinet closed and shit if you got something like that, dude. And he was just like getting real just crazy about it, just fucking being half serious. I can't even tell if he's serious. He's serious, but he like tries to laugh to kind of play it off like he might be joking, but I could just tell he's fucking like kind of serious about this shit, dude. And then he says, and I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, my grandfather's a pretty smart guy, you know. He didn't seem to have a problem with it, and he's like, yeah, maybe he got possessed by a real fucking genius ass ghost. That's what he said. Maybe my grandfather, because he had the Ouija board out in his house, maybe he got possessed by a real fucking genius ass ghost, is how he said it. Fucking genius ass ghost.
It just never left. He was like, this place is cool. I like this. That was more believable, I guess, to him than my grandfather just being really smart dude. Like, I don't know, that's more plausible that he got possessed by a super genius ass ghost. Your mom's dad?
My mom's dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, you think your dad got
your own dad. I mean, my grandfather's pretty smart. My mom's dad's pretty smart and pretty badass, but I mean, I think it's totally plausible that he's just terrestrially smart, you know what I'm saying? He's like fucking of this what do you call it? Corporeally. There you go. Bust that back out again.
Corporeally.
Taught that word to Sterling, felt pretty good about it. Learned it in video games.
He was talking about his farts.
Language modification is the first move in a totalitarian effort. There we go. We got a guy spitting rhetoric at us. We all know that. Language is also the first move in a Facebook post, is what it seems like, man. It seems like if you're not on any form of social media or the internet, then nobody's really doing anything to modify your language, right? It's only people that buy into whatever the online shit is. Like, you can't make your Facebook post a certain way. But if you live in a town with just a bunch of people who probably think whatever closed-minded shit you probably think as well, then nobody's really modifying the language, right?
No,
I mean, if you think about it. So what do you think about that? He's just saying
talking about
that
modifying language from the point of view of like you can't say gay. Is that what he's talking about?
Or just like don't say anything. He's just talking about like filtering whatever comics, which I'm completely against. Obviously, I do stand-up comedy. I don't want to fucking somebody telling me not to say a certain thing or to talk about a certain subject or whatever. I just mean, honestly, dude, I'm at a point where I'm just playing a contrarian to everybody now. I'm putting the cunt back in contrarian, and I'm fucking just.
That's a fucking cliche. Did you make that up? Did you hear someone say that?
I've always said that to myself, and I've just always. I put the cunt in contrarian. Contrarian. I'm sure it's had to have been said by somebody. But
like
I don't remember where I
derived
it from.
Redneck shirt or something.
I put the cunt in contrarian.
Contrarian country.
But like, no, I'm just so tired of hearing everybody's fucking point of views, man. That I'm like burned down on it. I just want to like literally like I will argue for Trump and against Trump with two different people just for the sake of being like, you care too much, bro. Hey, look at you caring too much. You're like, it's getting to you way too much, man. Like, you're not thinking about this clearly, obviously. If I
in the wrong profession, because you listen to people give their opinions every night.
That's probably why I'm so jaded to it now, because a lot of it is, well, I'm not watching it on a refined level. I'm watching it on I'm watching the ore, you know, the open mics, dude. This is the dirty stuff you're pulling out of the ground, man. This hasn't been smelted down yet and shit. You know what I mean? Like, you're just catching people that are going up there and not being funny and just giving you opinions, which is what you read all the time on the internet. You know what I mean? And you're just like, yeah, whatever. That's why I try not to do a lot of political stuff. I don't try not to do anything. I just do whatever the fuck I'm thinking about. But, like, I don't feel compelled to think about that and then write something about it. The most political thing I have is about just don't use change.org. That's it. It's like my farthest reaching.
That's my stance.
I say you're better. It's better off to just, instead of spending 30 minutes on there, sign a bunch of stupid petitions of like, you scream in your pillow. I added a tag though because I found out that Steakums has a petition on change.org right now to get verified on Twitter. So it's like, not only can you sign the petition for Steakums, then you can go over and sign Trump to get his tax returns released over here. It's like, man, clearly this website is bullshit. Like, this is not. These two things are completely unrelated.
Here, I've got a good serious bullshit topic that came up yesterday in my mind. With so Germany just got they just came to an agreement with their over their new government. So basically, Angela Merkel's party and the center-left party had to come to an agreement on how to run the government, because I think neither of them technically won the election and they didn't want to hold new elections. So
how do they have a draw?
I don't know how. I don't understand the German. I just understand that the result was they came to an agreement on this. And part of that agreement was they weren't going to allow more than 220,000 immigrants into the country per year. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, the Syrian refugee crisis over there was a big deal, big political point, because they've got all of them coming into Germany. And Angela Merkel was fairly liberal, was allowing a lot of them in. And then that made a lot of the locals, Germans, worried about losing their culture, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so,
or just any new culture jumping into your fucking whale. If the Dothraki move in to fucking King's Landing, right? Like, there's gonna be some fucking, like, some issues, some clashing. That's a great fucking comparison, though. It's like when the Dothraki are just hanging out now all of a sudden, and they're still Dothrakis, bro. They might be people, but they are Dothrakis, and they do some savage shit from time to time. It's like, man, some savage shit's probably gonna go down, dude. That's a clusterfuck over there, man. Why are they all choosing to go to Germany?
Well, it's because they kind of had an open border policy. They could get accepted in there. So they were trying to get
country like in the area, I guess, that had that policy or that type of policy.
In a way, yeah. I mean, they're more liberal, and plus they kind of have to, like, the pendulum from the Nazis is like way over on the other side now. They're trying to, like, do reparations for World War II. They're
trying to be like, hey, we need to go a little bit more Nazi-ish here. I hate to say it. I hate to be the guy to say it here, but I think we need to get a little bit more Nazi-ish.
No. I'm saying the pendulum's on the other side, right?
I know. So they're trying to I know they're trying to get it a little bit closer to Nazi here. So this is Nazi and this is the opposite.
Back. They're pulling the pendulum a little back center, getting away from, like, anyone can come, right? Because it's causing a lot of problems. So they're a little too liberal. And so I was thinking,
I played many video games where that's a part of a mission. It's a huge theme in life. Seriously.
So, but not. Personally, I was thinking, like, I don't have any problem with people coming into my country as long as they, in this case, were to renounce Islam, because I think Islam is dangerous, and I think that it is a problem.
Oh, God, dude. You're just going to take down my whole podcast like that, dude? I'm trying to do some shit. Hey, I'm trying to be an entertainer, bro. You're just going to take my whole podcast down with your Sam Harris fucking Islamophobia, bro? You're just going to come in here and tell them to renounce their Lord? Holy shit.
Like I said, perfect SBS bullshit, or serious topic. And so I was thinking that, but then I realized that it's also dangerous to then impose your ideas on someone else as a condition to come into your country, because then you sort of lose free speech, freedom of ideas. And so that's something I hold more at a higher ideal than the religion one. I would rather for everyone to be able to think what they think and choose, freedom of ideas, thoughts. But at then at that point, I'm like, well, then I don't want tons of these people coming in because I disagree with their beliefs, but I can't.
But how do you make someone prove that they've renounced their religion? Like, you can't fucking regulate that.
Exactly. You can't. So you have to do dog whistling things, which is what Trump has done.
What's that?
Like with the band.
Dog whistling?
Dog whistling. Only you're doing it you see you blowing the whistle, but you can't actually hear it. Does it make sense? It's a way to say that. Just like with queer bait.
That's queer bait? Are we tying this back into queer bait?
Yeah. So it's doing something but not explicitly saying it. So it's like dog whistling at it. Does it make sense?
Yeah. It makes sense because I get how a dog whistle works. So it's like some low key shit. Like,
you're doing it but not explicitly.
Yeah. Walk quietly with a big stick. Is that similar?
Who said? Was that?
That was Teddy.
Teddy. All Teddy.
Shadow government shit. Okay. Our psychosis listening in here, typing into us, had a good point that immigration should be a process, not a form, which makes sense. But, dude, there's just too many people, man. There's too many people that bureaucracy is it's a necessity, and it's also a destructive necessity. Does that make sense?
Destructive to what?
To us, to the well-being of the species. I guess. I don't know, because it's the well-being of the species is really just to have as many fucking people be here as possible. But I feel like we're at such a vast amount of people here that it's to account for anybody, there has to be so much bureaucracy involved to make everyone feel like they're being represented or like they're being cared about or like anybody gives a fuck about them, that it's just how would you replace immigration being a form with the process if you'd have to go through that same process with so many people that it would be such an overwhelming branch of government? It would take so many resources that it would just be not worth doing it or something. I don't know. Or it would be really shitty. The process would be so shitty because it would be so underfunded and it would be so, you know what I mean? It would just be, I don't know. Let's see what fucking Keith said. That's pretty dense. Immigration shouldn't ever be a thing. No one should be allowed in the U.S. to steal all my jobs and my welfare. That's just Keith. What's up, Keith? Cult of Keith. Yeah, Keith was raised in some hardcore religions, and that's how he actually feels, and those are his actual feelings. And
yeah,
this is real. That's his real point of views, dude. So just go and write that down. If anyone needs to cite this later,
Keith's real views.
Keith's real point of view, right there in the chat. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's the bureaucracy is something that everybody hates, right? Like DMV, I hate doing that. I hate doing all this shit where it's these processes. I hate going to college and all the bureaucracy of college, dude. I remember that being one of the things that was there's so much dumb shit going on here because they cannot account for me as an individual in here because there's so many fucking people coming through this school that I guess maybe if I paid tons and tons of money at some other place, I would feel like I was jumping through less hoops. But it was they were making things intentionally difficult, and it was you have to go over here, talk to this person, walk over to this office, and just all these forms, do this, do that, do this, do that, and it's all because nobody can just give just me attention to be no, this is how everything works, you know what I mean? Or just whatever way would make me feel better as a person isn't possible. So I have to settle for, as long as there's this many people trying to do shit, that I have to settle for maybe just this form is the only fucking way we're going to be able to figure it out. Maybe diagnosing someone as a psychologist when you see 100 people a day, best you can do is just give them a paper and then go by what their answers are on this sheet of paper, even though they probably couldn't read half the fucking questions or something. And then, you know what I mean? And then you just got to go by that because you don't have enough resources to take care of everybody.
There are a lot of fucking people. I was noticing that because I drove across the country from New Mexico to Georgia up to Washington, and then through Missouri and all that back to New Mexico, and just constantly people on the road. there's never a time when I wasn't around other cars. Builds up. Just thinking about all these people going to all these places and just how many fucking resources there are. It's tripping my brain out. Wasn't a lot going on the road, so I had a lot of time to think about it.
Dude, it's amazing. And it's amazing how nobody's aware of that. How the general hive population is just completely unaware of that. Like, dude, one day you could turn on your faucet. What if you just turn your faucet one day and there was just no water?
I freak out about that all the time. I'm always thinking about that. I think I should have a jug of water.
Because you know it'll have
2 jugs of water.
You know nobody's paying
gallons.
enough attention. Not enough people are going to be able to know. They can't tell. There's too many people. You can't tell everybody that. Everybody will freak out. Nobody can know that we're low on water. Oh, and you know what I mean? They'll go through all these things because there's just too many people. You can't. We'll get overwhelmed. And so then because you don't tell that, then all these people lose their water, and it's just like fucking. That's a huge nightmare. That literally is a possibility. Like just as much as the solar flare happening, dude. You don't know what the fuck's going on down there. Nobody's at the bottom of the well checking it every day.
Well, a lot of it comes from surface water, but
no, true. I'm saying if you're like in a town somewhere, like a small township or something, like fucking, try to get like at Newberry Town or something. I'm sure a lot of people out there are running off just straight well water. What happens when that's gone?
Think the Flint water's cleaned up yet? Probably not. Probably not. It's probably still shitty. Flint, yeah, Flint, Michigan. The water had lead in it.
Yeah. I know. I had a bunch of fucked up shit, but it was just black people, right? That's why.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all. That's so it's cool, dude. Whatever. Anyways, no, yeah, dude. It's probably still fucked up. They probably just changed the regulations to where it can have a higher amount of lead, and now it's clean. Now it's considered clean. They do shit like that all the time, man. That's why you just can't trust shit because it's like, oh no, we just changed this fucking number here, and then now it's good. And move that, and good. What?
You know, it began in 2014.
What did?
The Flint drinking water crisis.
Yeah, but that means they were drinking it for how long?
Until 2016, so 2 years.
Wow. No, I'm saying like, how long before that were they just drinking fucked up shit?
It says as of early. No, it says from 2014 to 2016. That's how, because they like changed the. They changed the water source and they didn't change their process, and it ended up exposing like high levels of lead in the drinking water. It says as of early 2017, the water quality had returned to acceptable levels. However, residents were instructed to continue using bottled or filtered water units until the lead pipes had been replaced, which is expected to happen no sooner than 2020.
Wow.
Dude, hindsight's 2020.
That's great. That's great. Very nice. We always need to create our own systems of recycling our own pee, Keith says. That's hilarious.
Yeah, dude, and we can make struvite. Have you heard of struvite?
No, is it Swedish?
No, or I don't know. They might have named it, but
struvite. You do not use struvite?
I was taking a wastewater treatment class, and we all had to do a project. I did mine on turbines making energy from a river, but this one guy did a
turbines. You talking about Muslims?
Muslims? No. Turbines.
Sorry, you got me all Islamophobe up. I looked like I was a terrorist at first, and now I'm going straight. I'm Israel, pure Israel.
So, this one guy did a project on struvite, which is a crystal that you can make essentially it's not a crystal, it's like a flaky mineral you can make from your pee. If you like dry it out in you like get pans and you lay it out in the sun, and he like designed this process, and he'd been doing his own test at his house where he'd been drying his pee flakes with struvite and then adding it to his plants. And like talking about how some of his plants were growing better with the struvite supplements over others. So he was recycling his pee. That's a real thing. And that guy was doing it. Thing. And it was a really weird project for him to tell us about. It was a little personal.
Now, does the same amount of water come out? Like, how long could you go before you ran out of that pee? Like, continuously
Well, he's not drinking the pee. He's taking his pee, drying it out, making struvite, adding it to plants to give them minerals to grow better.
I know. I'm saying, though, if you just had like a system, I'm just continuing on thinking about it.
Oh, you're trying to drink pee?
Yeah. Yeah, dog. Straight up. But like if you somehow filtered it back into water, right? You took all the piss out of it, and it was just water again, because most of your piss is just water, right? How long could you go off of that one load? How long could you camel off your own piss?
I don't think too long, because it gets all that. So right, I'm sure they did this in The Martian, which I've never seen. When he was on Mars, obviously, it's The Martian.
Didn't see that.
But yeah, me neither. But I think so. Basically, your body's trying to get rid of shit, and so if you kept drinking the same thing, it'd eventually be too concentrated for you to drink. So maybe you have to do what that guy did and like let it evaporate, and then catch that water that evaporated out for clean water. Take your Struvite, add it to your food.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. No, I'm saying you have like some type of new type of life straw.
For pee?
Do you know what a life straw is?
Yeah, Erica's dad got
it's a
me
life
one.
straw, but it's like a reverse thing where you piss through it. Yeah.
Would you drink someone else's pee though? With your life straw?
If it went through the life straw, it would be sanitary, and it's already sterile. And look, it's barely even yellow anymore. Okay, it's barely yellow, dude. Look. No, dude, look. No, come on, man. Really look.
Take a sip.
Dude. No, it's not bad, dude. It's really not bad, bro. It's kind of like tea. It's like a green tea.
And I kind of know the guy. He's a good guy.
He's cool.
He's
Dude, he's cool. He's keto. No, he's keto, bro. I only drink keto pee. That's my key. That's my key to being healthy. I actually eat whatever I want, but I only drink keto pee.
And keto beef.
My dick's keto.
Fuck grass-fed beef. I just eat keto beef.
Keto beef? Oh, man. That would be fucked up, right? It's just jacked ass cows, bro.
they go to the
just jacked ass cows doing jujitsu in fields now. When you're driving down the road, you're like, "What the fuck are they doing?" Oh, that's keto cows, bro. They're hardcore, bro. You gotta watch out though. The biggest thing you gotta watch out though. They get a lot of diseases. Main one, I think, is staph. They get staph a lot while they're rolling. I think we got him in a hoof bar. Not a haunch bar. Psychosis is saying that in Colorado, where he lives, they can't harvest rain on your property because of bureaucrats and cash involving other states. So, like, if you put a cup of water outside and caught rainwater, that's illegal.
Wow. In the city of Denver, it can't be the whole state, right?
I don't know. We'll wait here for an answer. But either way, that's fucking crazy, right? Just to say that you couldn't do that, like to imagine that that's even a possibility. Like, oh no, bro, you live in this state, dude. You don't have rights here. As long as you live here in this state, there's no state of you. Like until you have your own state, dude. Somebody can tell you can't drink the water out of the fucking sky, bro.
You can smoke pot though. That's cool.
Fair trade. They're like, hey, listen, if you guys want to grow all this weed here, we got to make sure we don't run out of water, all right? So y'all cannot be catching this water. This is weed water. This is weed water, dude. All right?
It's owned by Big Weed.
Oh, yeah, Psychosis, man. It's cool, bro. It's cool, bro. It's just weed water.
You can't harvest it.
Yeah. He said it's the whole state. The mountain regions are worse.
That's
you guys have a lot of drought there or something? Like I can see that in like LA or something. Like don't catch that little bit of rainwater that drops, you cunt. But
well, you can harvest rainwater in New Mexico. I know that. You can harvest rainwater in New Mexico.
Really?
Yeah, people have like they collect it and then they water their lawns with it. They have these big there's like big PVC things that often in like CSI and stuff, dead bodies get put in them.
Yeah.
No.
He said they're in early drought conditions. Oh, I didn't know that. That's because all that weed water, dude. I'm telling you.
Is he saying just right now or always?
Yeah. Dude.
Because right now I definitely believe it because it's
more states have to
here.
legalize. More states have to legalize because Colorado's going to run out of weed water and then we're all fucked. And then I'm fucked over here on the East Coast.
Back to Mexican weed.
Back to Mexican weed, dude. Jesus Christ, man. I have seen some of the having lived here in South Carolina, I have seen some of the dirtiest, grossest, bush and plant-like marijuanas that one could possibly imagine. I have seen the blackest. These seeds look like they were nether seeds. Like it looked like a seed of some unknown plant. They were so black and smushed together. Or it was like, I don't know, man. Just one time I just cracked open a bud and it was just like all seeds. The whole bud was all seeds. It seems like gnarly ass weeds here, man.
Dude, so it looks like in May 2016, Colorado's longtime ban on residential rainwater barrels has come to an end. So you can collect rainwater to then later use for outdoor use, but I think it's still true you can drink it.
You can't drink it though? Now listen.
Rainwater collection, yeah.
I guess it makes sense though if you're dumping it back onto the lawn. But what if you just go piss on your own lawn?
What?
What if you piss on your own lawn?
Are you saying that if you piss on your
then
own
if you
lawn,
drink it, you piss on the lawn.
Collect it?
Yeah, can I collect it and drink it? I
I
solemnly swear that I will piss on my own lawn every time. Your lawn just looks like shit, but you got plenty of drinking.
I see what you're saying. If you drink it and then go pee on your lawn for outdoor use.
Yeah, for outdoor use, exactly. So the water still ends up where it was going to land, sir.
Well, some of it goes into the two, and you can't be twoing on the lawn.
To the deuce?
Can't be deucing on the lawn, yeah.
Yeah, man, there's going to be a way better way for deuces in the future that it does not involve water. But water is like what nullifies the smell, so I don't know.
Yeah.
If you deuce into no water, bro, it's a vastly different experience.
It's an out-of-body experience.
That's an out-of-body experience. Yeah, if you ever are like taking a shit and you're like, that's hilarious.
It's not in the body of water. It's not in your body.
It's not in the body. It's out of body. It's not in a body of water. It's not in your body. This shit is an out-of-body experience. Okay? Oh, yeah, but if you ever have a real smelly-ass deuce, dude, sure enough, if you stand up and look down, fucking, it's an out-of-body deuce. It's going to be an out-of-body turd, for sure. The culprit is there, always.
You don't want the out-of-body experience.
You don't want the out-of-body experience, dude. You know what? Fuck drinking water. I'm shitting in water forever, dude. That's a Mando rule. Let's see here. He says each city makes their own restrictions on shit. What is this here? Looked at putting compost where all the waste goes. City requires no. Hey, wait a second. Just really quick. Didn't you say that guy was drying out his piss and using it for plants?
Yeah, he was putting like a mineral, like Miracle Grow.
So wait, I thought pissing on plants kills them. I thought that was always a thing.
I don't think that's necessarily a thing. I think it can kill plants, but remember, he's drying it out and he's harvesting these little like flakes, and he'd get these flakes, and then so he's just getting the minerals out, and then the rest
just the minerals.
And then I don't know. The whole time I was just looking at this dude. Are you serious? You're telling me that you? I think he was eating the food too. I don't remember what it was. I'm pretty sure
he eat the poo poo. He eats it.
He was in the bathtub, and he because he had a bidet, but so he just take a poop in the tub and he scoop it and throw it in the toilet. That's what he would do.
Interesting. I wonder if you concentrated all the bad stuff.
Just did the Joey Diaz reference, and then you were deep in thought.
I was. Sorry, what? What was the reference? What did you say?
The poop and scoop from the tub to the toilet.
Oh, dude. That's still one of those things. That's still one of those things where it's like, you know, the dude that was on that podcast with him, that he was hearing this story was like, what? Like, you know, he was like, I got to keep it together.
I think he was just saying that.
Dude.
I don't think it was real.
I got a sneaking suspicion, dude, that a lot more, everybody doesn't think that what he says is real until the person that knows him, that was there, that he kidnapped or something like that, comes on the podcast and then like talks about it, dude. Like, I've been proven wrong so many times when I did not believe something that he said, dude, that I just accept it for what it is, dude. Like, he's that fucking retarded and that weird. He pooped outside before, like at his own house, and he has a story about that. Yeah, he's got. Yeah. I mean, I just feel like he's not that freaked out by it, dude.
They thought like a bear
but to pick up your own dookie and then toss it into the toilet from the shower just seems
from the tub.
Yeah.
But he shat in the tub, and then continued to bathe in it.
But it's like, who would make that up?
I think he would. He started selling bidets. It didn't make sense to me. He's like, because I had a bidet. You see, you don't get it because I had a bidet growing up, so I had to shit in the tub.
No, dude, that story. He's told that story tons of times before the bidet commercial.
Oh, really?
That's all. Yeah, that's all Joey Diaz story.
An oldie but a goodie.
That's an oldie but a goodie. Yeah. No, he's definitely talked about throwing his turf from the bathtub to the toilet before, dude. And everybody that hears that is like, what the fuck?
And there was a slight out of body experience there, just a slight one.
Yeah, it fucking entered different dimensions, dude. It literally, it went from being in one realm to another due to the water realm once it entered the water body. So yeah, anyways, this guy fucking picked up his poop out of the shower and threw it in the toilet. Do you believe it or not? Who knows? We'll see. One day we'll find out. Break it down. Find out next time on Serious Bullshit Podcast.
Yeah, speaking of that, it's about time to head out. This has been the 1 hour reboot.
6:27. They were strong. Came back good.
Came up with out-of-body experience.
What's the plan for the future here? What do you want to do? How do you want to do this?
I don't know. How much, for the listeners and my benefit, how busy are you on Fridays? How much work goes into the actual, the Base Grifters pre-show?
Base Grifters pre-show? What do you mean?
Pre-show. Like how much...
Like before this or before Base Grifters on Friday?
No, before Base Grifters. Not before this.
I could double down on Friday.
You could double down on a Friday? I think doubling down on Fridays will work better.
I can't. And there's eventually going to be a Fridays where I have to swap to a Saturday or something like that because I got 3 shows right now in this next month coming up. And then
on Saturdays?
Saturdays, Sundays, Fridays, just different days. And then... this guy's talking about he's kind of like checking out at this place, The Flat, where I had that great set that first time that I got showcased. Fucking, he's gonna let me start running that place there and like doing the door and booking it and shit like that. So that's potentially gonna be another day. I don't know what's going on, but he said I'm gonna be really busy going in to the next year. So
yeah, it sounds like sounds like a commitment.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how that pans out. But for now, all right. So next week we're looking at. What, like 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock or what? What do you want to do?
Well, you guys go on at 12 your time, right?
11 usually.
11.
We went on 12 that day, yeah.
You went on 12 last night, right?
Yeah.
So you guys normally go on at 11. So we could do SBS at 8. What is that? If you went on an 8, wait, no, that's 11.
We just do 9. That way we can go we can go up to 2 hours.
So, but you normally go on at 10 though. So
I normally go on at 11.
Oh, normally go on at 11.
Yeah,
that's right.
We had 2 hours. That'd be great.
So if you went on at 9 for me, that's 7. That's pretty much perfect for me.
Yep. All right. We're making plans on podcasts now, so let's not do. We're getting really detailed with it, but yeah. So, all right, so next Friday, 9 o'clock, and then Base Grifters at 11, and then, yeah, that'll be perfect. So, that was a great fucking reunion podcast here. Definitely was fun, dude. I missed it. Missed the serious bullshit, dude, for sure.
We didn't do much of the serious, a lot of bullshitting today.
Yeah, I think we were just excited to be back doing the podcast, man. We were just having a good fucking giggle, having a laugh. It was fun. Yeah, and I mean, we didn't have some serious topics. So next fucking week, I'll come at you guys with some real deep, heady stuff, bro. We'll really hit it hard. Maybe even bring a comic on or something.
And talk about the blockchain. That's what I wanted to talk about today.
If we did 2 on Friday, I could get a comic and then force them to stay and make prank calls with me after they do the podcast they want to do, which is this one. Everybody talks about, I want to do the serious bullshit one, dude. But nobody wants to get on and do the fucking calls with me and Mike.
Why do they always want to do the SBS?
Just because it's a discussion podcast and it's not like I don't know, man.
Goof.
Yeah, the other one is like just being funny and like
it's like an improv. I like the
crazy. It's kind of improv-y, I guess, and it's just weird. You know what I mean? But people don't feel comfortable making prank calls a lot of the time, which is understandable because it took me a long time to get comfortable making prank calls, dude. That's a weird. That's an out-of-body experience, bro. Now I'm just used to it. It's whatever. But like, yeah, the first couple times, I can understand somebody being like, I don't want to get on a live podcast and like sound like a douche on a prank call or something. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I still kind of worry about that. I remember the first time you told me you guys were making prank phone calls. I was like, you guys are making prank phone calls. Are you serious?
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people thought that, man, but it's not. It's the weirdest thing. It's like I want to call it a prank call podcast, but then I don't because it's not really that as much as it is just weird. It's just weird, dude. We've taken it to like, what is Nick and Pootie now? Whoever these characters are, dude. There's just weird shit happening. Like, it's just a fucking out of body experience, bro. It's just this episode. Can't wait for it to be super easy. But yeah, dude. So all right. So next Friday, we'll be back. Serious Bullshit Podcast, guys. Do salute.
Yeah, I'm signing out.
Signing out.